I look like it's empty. You're good.
Okay. Okay, so crew departure brief.
All right, we're going to get all these airplanes moved first. We're going to take a tow out to the taxiway. We're going to take off on runway 36. I'll get you to help me with watching the airplanes, wing tips as we go by. On the left side, I'll be watching the right side. We've got plenty of runway here. We're kind of light on fuel. I said let's use 38 inches of manifold pressure for takeoff. Any questions?
Negative.
All right.
What do we do in case of an engine failure?
Well, we stick our heads between those. In case of an engine failure, I'm going to fly the airplane. I will tell you which engines failed. We're going to both agree on this before we pull any red knobs. You immediately give me full power on both engines. I'll identify, I want you to handle the feather and I want you to monitor the feather.
Okay.
Make sure the engine's feathered. If the engine starts coming out of feather, make sure this button's pulled out. If that doesn't stop the feather, I want you to turn off all electrical supply. Then we'll deal with that. I'll keep the greasy side down. You handle the feather. You got it?
Roger.
Don't mess this up, Kathleen.
No, only one chance. I'm not gonna mess it up. All right. Crew departure brief complete. Escape hatch.
Latched 1, 2, 3, 4, except it's really not.
Secure. Circuit breakers. Checked.
They are checked to normal.
All right. Fire extinguisher selector.
It's in this hole. It's neutral. We're good to go.
Checked. Fuel quantity. How many gallons?
We have 500 gallons on board. We've only burned 30 minutes out of the mains. The balance is in the oxys.
Oil quantity. How many gallons?
24 side.
All right. Co-pilot flag.
I was here, but I'm gonna leave it for now.
Okay. Seat and pedals.
Adjusted.
Hydraulic pressure.
We don't have any. We'd have to get some of that up.
Okay. Just the way you explained it. Gear handle, neutral.
It'd be here. It would be this neutral.
Okay. Gear latch, positive lock.
Positive lock.
Positive lock. Hydraulic quantity.
Checked.
Okay. Star valve.
Closed.
Right. Cold flaps open.
Open my side. You say open your side, and I'll say and off. What are we opening?
On and off.
Cowl flaps.
All right. On and off.
On the engine.
Cowl
Cowl
flaps.
flaps.
No
Cowl
cowl.
flaps, those
Cowl.
little.
COWL.
Cowl
Okay.
flaps.
Okay.
It's to let the air in when it's too warm. Get some fresh air.
Okay.
Static selector.
I'm normal on my side.
And normal on my side. All right. Parking brake off.
Not using it.
Okay. Yeah, it's grass everywhere. Trim tabs.
1,
It says
2,
3.
3 set.
All right. Fuel selector, main or auxiliary.
I'm on the left main. I would if I was over there. Say I'm on the right main. I see your left. So I see your right. These selectors, with either engine, you can burn from any of the 4 tanks. So both of these valves are identical. I like that setup. No other twin has it, but I like that. You can burn from any tank you want.
Okay. Good. Carburetor heat, cold.
Cold and locked.
Cold and locked. Oil and hydraulic shutoffs.
Right now they're closed, but before we start the engine, we're going to open them and turn them and lock them.
Manifold pressure. How many?
29 inches it looks like right now. We'll need that for the run up.
Prop levers forward.
Forward.
Mixture cutoff.
I'll cut off.
Wing flaps up and neutral.
Up. And the handle's neutral.
Where is it? Here.
See the little tab down there?
Yes.
And it would be in neutral.
Seat belt, no smoke sign set. Alright. Mag switches, the 4 of them off. Alright. Avionic master switch off.
Off.
Off. Generator switch is on. On. Strub switch on.
Which switch?
Strub. Strub.
Strobe.
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 Strobe. Okay. Gear pins. Remove.
Did you get the gear pins, Gerald?
Gear pins
Got
out.
the gear pins.
Okay. Where are they?
They are in the gear outside.
You're outside.
So we have a little procedure we do with our outside man.
I'm standing outside.
You can tell her about that real quick.
So what he'll do is I'll stand right outside and he'll say, get pins, gears, and chocks. Pins,
Rudder lock.
rudder locks. So I'll get the pins out of both the gears. I'll go back and get the rudder locks, and then I'll pull the chocks.
So we don't
And
want to
I'll
do that
bring-
until I'm in here on the brakes and ready for him to do
And
something.
then I'll walk up and show him all three of those before I put them in play.
Okay, chocks, locks, and covers removed.
He
Same
just
thing.
got it for us.
Yep.
Thanks, Gerald.
Yep.
Flight controls.
We'll check that out. We've got control locks on now, but
Yeah. Don't.
and your rudders. So there's about this much throw in the rudders.
Okay. It's a big way. Free and correct. No
Free and
hard
correct.
part.
Yeah.
Right. Battery switch. Bat or cart?
Come on here.
Cart, what does it mean? Cart.
Cart is if you use an auxiliary battery
Oh,
and you plug it in underneath the airplane. So you can select cart if you have that.
all right.
So
we
this
will-
is battery, that's battery, and that's cart. So that was a gear warning.
Okay. Fire warning.
Push that, hold it. Now we watch here for the lights to go back out.
Tested. And it's working. Awesome. Annunciator lights.
Push there.
I'll bet you take a picture.
They all work.
Yes. Gear down light. Nice. Is it the same sound for all DC3s or is it customized?
So the people at Bassler, I was talking to them, and they said if you've seen one DC3, you've seen one DC3. They're all different.
They are all unique.
They're all different.
Okay. We are going to visit Basler tomorrow.
Oh, good. You'll
Good,
love that.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll love that.
All right. Okay, engine start from memory.
Okay.
After start, before taxi, avionic master switch on. Boost pump off. Engine start selector neutral. Battery switch back. Warning lights out. No lights. Mixture as required, so below
The auto
3000.
range. Yeah, I'll be all the way up.
Okay. Engine pressures and temps check.
We're watching here. It takes a while for the oil pressure to come up. It may take 20 minutes, 15 minutes before you can taxi, and 20 or 30 minutes before you can do a run up, even in the summertime. Because you've got 24 gallons of oil aside you're warming up.
Hydraulic pressure between 600 and 875. Gear warning, gear warn and pressure check.
Your warning, that's what we checked here, and the pressure, of course, here.
Vacuum pressure checked left and right.
I'll have 5, and the way this one's set up, you'll have 1. It's got that's a low pressure rate of turn indicator on that side.
Nice.
Maybe it'll die someday when we put a regular one on.
Pitot heat as required, so we remove the.
Typically off because I don't like the winter.
No, not here. Nav database current, so. Radios and flight instruments check and set. Transponder ground. Okay. Out time.
You write it down there. There you go.
Awesome. Can I take a picture of it?
Sure.
So I can stuff it.
My first flight when I was 12 was on a DC3 with my family. We flew from Key West to Havana, Cuba.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't nearly as nicely as this.
Didn't you come through yesterday?
Nope.
Somebody else came through that did that same route.
No kidding.
Yes.
I'll be
did.
darned. I'll be
Came
darned.
through yesterday.
Yeah, what I remember was wicker seats, no trim on the inside, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Bare bones.
Bare bones, yeah.
84 knots. So like I said, you're really holding it on the ground. It will,
That's okay. You push forward.
Yeah, you push forward. It's just like, you know, a wheel takeoff. I'm sure you do wheel landings in your Cub.
Yeah.
So it's like a wheel type takeoff. As soon as you start rolling on the Cub, you can do the same thing. Push forward and just hold it on the ground.
Yeah.
So we're holding it on the ground. It will take off. If you let it, it would take off probably at 60 knots or less. But you don't want it to take off at 60 knots. Just hold it on the ground. And at first, it's quite a bit of pressure. You're holding fairly hard, a significant amount of pressure. But the faster you're going, the less hard you have to push to hold that attitude.
Yeah. You have more control.
And you're just watching that attitude, which is it's a little bit difficult to get the hang of this. You're so far forward on the airplane. It's like you're sitting at the head of a needle. You don't really have a good reference, and you finally kind of learn that.
Remember the locks are
Do you
on.
fly the Cub in back seat or front seat? Or do you fly the Cub?
Back seat, so you
Okay.
don't see it.
Yeah, so in the back seat of the Cub, you have a lot of area, a lot of airplane in front of you where you can kind of see what it's doing. Well, on this plane, you don't have that. You're just using your senses to know whether you're straight or not, more or less.
And then you climb at what speed?
95 knots.
95? Yeah. Above the blue line.
You can sneak a little past him if you can.
One of the most important things, we always let the co-pilot set the final power. Because as pilot, you must be concentrating out the window.
Talking about the tech.
So as pilot, you'll start the throttles up, then the co-pilot will come underneath and he will set your power. And as soon as he has the power set, you'll have your hands here. As soon as I get the power set underneath, I'll tap. Now don't move those because I've got them set. But I'll tap and let you know power set. And you keep your hands there in case you lose an engine. So we'll know what's going on. All right? Then he's got to come down and tighten this tension. If he doesn't, and I've had people forget to do it, and I forgot to do it on people early on. If you don't set this tension, vibration will start pulling your power back, and you won't know it because your props will be governor will keep the props at the same RPM. Then all of a sudden you're looking at the trees thinking, am I going to get over those or not? So it's vitally important you brief, and this guy sets this tension after he sets the power. That's throttle tension right there. Yeah, like I said, this will be the same on all of them. The fuel gauge is going to be the same. Here's the trick on it. You always turn it clockwise. If you turn it counterclockwise, you break the mechanism inside. And that gauge will give you the quantity on all four of the tanks.
Wow. Can't believe we are in the oldest flying DC3 in the world. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
So, do you fly, but you also work on keeping it flying? Like, do you do maintenance as well, or?
Well, I end up coordinating the maintenance and then helping in the field. I'm not an ANP, but I do help with a lot of the maintenance work and coordinate it. So what you'll find is that you can get an ANP mechanic to help you and to keep you legal, but they won't know anything about the systems on a DC3.
So you have to be there.
You have to know what's going on. We had a hydraulic issue this spring that our mechanics in Tulsa couldn't figure out. They sent it out. There's still some issues. So I had to hire a mechanic and tell him what to do. So we had to pay him. Turned out the star valve, somebody had tightened it too tight. I'm gonna blame it on the maintenance people and broke the seat out of the star valve. So anyway, we had to replace that. You getting bored?
She's not the kind to ever get bored.
It's looking that way. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I have to share a bit, so
I'm sorry?
I have to share.
Oh, you have to share? All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get you back up here after we close down if you'd like to spend some more time.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we close up at 2, so I'll be happy to spend some time with you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Hey, thank you.
Now, what are you going to watch as you walk out?
Oh, we are going to see.
No. I'm talking right out of
Oh,
here.
yeah.
You're not going to step on that, right?
Nope.
You're gonna stay away from all that stuff on the floor.
Mess up the system.
Very good. Thank you, Kate.
Yeah, thank
All right,
you too.
okay, we'll see you a little bit later on, right?
Back there, my dad is here, my brother's here, my friend Ken is there. We're all in the plane there. She says, "Come on, record me." So I've got a 15-minute video of Kathleen going through the checklist thing, and it's not just going through the checklist. You know, it's like trim set for takeoff, and she looks at him. Okay, how do I set the trim for takeoff? Show me. And he's like, "You spin this wheel," and she says, "It's not lined up. Are you sure that's trim for takeoff?" And he's like, "Oh no, it's
You're
not."
so
You're
much
right.
exaggerate. This is not true.
Yeah, and he's going through all this stuff. You know, set the hydraulic valve here, and she's like, "Why do you set the hydraulic valve there? Why not here? Why not this?" You know, I mean, this pre-flight checklist took 15 minutes. I got the video on my phone because she's drilling him with all these questions.